Hey, welcome back to Next Third Best Third. I'm David Fenwick, founder and host, and today I'm super excited. I've got a friend of mine, Richie Seltzer. He's joining. This is the first time, Richie. First off, welcome.
Oh man,
Uh,
my honor. Thanks for having me.
Richie is an incredible communicator. He travels all over the world. He's a Christian. He's a motivator. He's a father. Just a great overall guy. But this is the first time we've done this remotely, Richie. We've always had somebody in studio, so you're breaking the ice. So
Oh, awesome, man. I could have done it maybe last week if I would have had an extra hour. I was in your area. I flew out of
yeah,
Austin, so
yeah. But you were hunting. You didn't want to
yeah,
come in here
that's
to do
right.
it that
Yeah,
way.
I was.
So
It was a quick turnover.
yeah. So Richie, one of the things that I wanted you to talk about is I know that you have really worked hard. We talk about intentionality on Next Third Best Third, and these last, 3.5 years, you have been super intentional about addressing one of the pillars of Next Third Best Third, and that's your physical condition, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted you to kind of go into that a little bit because I want the guys who are listening to realize that it's not just getting in shape, but it's how getting physically in shape and taking care of your body, your temple that we call it, right? How it affects every aspect of your life, your relationships, your career, the way you look at other people, just the whole thing, emotions. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my journey. I mean, I grew up in Virginia, um, and I played football at a high level when I was in Virginia. It was kind of like culture there.
yeah,
So I had, you know, physical fitness was a part of like what you did because you're in football, and I had the genetics for it. And so most of my life, I got born again, went to go be a missionary, but I didn't really have to work that hard to kind of feel like I was in shape or,
yeah.
at least feel very good. Um, but then, I planted a church when I was 25 years old,
Wow.
and we did that for 7 years. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, and the most rewarding thing I've ever done in a way. But you find out the sheep bite, and a lot of times they bite their pastors a lot, and it's an intense job, and then from there I started traveling. I got invited to start traveling and preaching all over the world in different things, in different environments, conferences, stadiums, you know, um, and every time you're traveling to these different places, the pastors and the people that are hosting you, you're in different cities, and they want to show you a good time.
Right.
They want to like, hey, look at our city. It's like an amazing place. Look at this great place to eat, and they take you to these amazing restaurants that have amazing food. And um, but what you don't realize is you're changing time zones. You're not sleeping as good as you would if you're in your own, time zone, at your own house, in your own bed with your own pillows.
Hmm.
And now you're eating out all the time with all the seed oils and stuff. I didn't even realize I was getting out of shape.
Right.
Like I mean, I knew I didn't feel as good. I knew I was tired a lot more. I knew it was kind of like I started feeling like I had to grit my teeth to even preach the gospel, which was like normal for me to share the
Hmm.
gospel with people. But I was like, it was like more of a work than it was out of the abundance of my heart.
Right.
And then one night I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom with my wife. We had sinks beside each other, and she walks up and she says, "What's this?" And she put her finger in one of my back rolls.
Oh no.
And I didn't realize I had a back roll,
Yeah.
because it was behind me. I'm like, what do you mean? And I turned around and I noticed it. I'm like, oh, that's it. Because I'd always wondered. I mean, like, the guys that have the big hard bellies that come out in front of them and stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
how do you let yourself get to that point? And I'm like, and it's awesome, but at the same time, it's not. It's like they're out of
Right.
shape. And then I realized that's how it happens. Like you get the tire first, around the lower side, and
Right.
it supports your belly that
That's
comes
right.
over. And I'm like, I'm on my way to my granddad.
I know it's
I can
it's
see it happening.
frightening, right?
I'm on my way to my dad. I'm like, and to me, I was like, no, I'm not ready for that. I
That's
don't want
right.
to go there. And
Yeah. Well, it's
I
interesting, we some of the studies I've done since I've been doing this is, we see the belly fat and we see the rolls and everything, but there's also inside of you that visceral fat,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that'll kill you, right? And but you don't
right,
see that, but that
right.
comes from just years of being complacent and
Yeah,
eating
not
junk,
having a good, cardio and eating
right?
good and all that. And once it gets to the outside, it's already been on the inside for a long time,
That's
probably.
right.
And yeah, I mean, for me, I was like, well, I don't feel good. I started realizing I'm not at my best prophetically. I'm not at my best as a dad, as a husband.
Yeah,
You know, um, I'm not an alcoholic or anything, but just different things like that I usually had better control of were getting out of control. And I'm a minister too, so like I just felt like the Lord spoke to me and He said, get in shape.
right.
And so I grabbed some dumbbells that I had bought, uh, and they were like adjustable dumbbells. They could go up to like 52 pounds and down to 20 pounds. And I had a
Okay.
weight bench in my garage and just started pumping iron in my garage,
Yeah,
and I think I followed Jeff Cavalier at first, the Athlete X guy in YouTube. He's one of the
yeah,
like OGs of like fitness in online, and I have that type of personality. I went after it, black and white individual, and I was consistent. I started seeing results, started feeling better right away. Um, and before I knew it, I ran out of weight in my garage. And so I started going to a gym. I went to the Planet Fitness, I think, at first, and then I ran out of weight there. And so I shifted over to the Crunch. And because I travel, it works for me because they have a lot of free weights there and they're in every city.
right,
And so now,
right.
now it's just a part of my life. I literally I work out 6 days a week, and it's one of the things that I can control as I'm traveling.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
every place I go, I tell people, I need 20 minutes. I mean, I 2 hours in the first part of the day or in the afternoon, one or the other, but it's non-negotiable. I go to the gym
Okay.
for 2 hours,
Wow.
or a 2 hour block, somewhere in there,
That's
and that
incredible.
that includes like going there and coming back, taking shot, all that kind of stuff. But I need that 2 hours just to
Right.
to to keep that consistent in my life, no matter where I'm at.
So how long ago did you move back to Pennsylvania or move to Pennsylvania?
I moved to Pennsylvania in May 2022.
2022. Okay. So 3.5 years ago, right?
Right.
And I remember you and I doing some things together, and I knew first off you were in decent shape then. I thought you were in good shape. I also knew your personality that if you decided to go after something, it was gonna you're gonna do it. And when I first saw you posting some things on Facebook, I'm going, oh, he's gonna be a beast. I just knew it. And you really have transformed your body.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it became fun. I mean, it was at first it started, hey, I want to get in shape and not have the back rolls for my wife,
Yeah,
and actually, I wonder, and obviously the Lord had spoke to me about it. And but then it's no longer something I have to do. It was your body begins to crave it. Your body
right,
begins to want those endorphins, those um, you know, uh, I think when you begin to work out and you do hard things, it releases serotonin into your body through your brain and
right,
dopamine, and so I started actually craving going to the gym, and it was a part of my day where I literally could lock in and do that and so into my body, so into my mental health in a way. I don't
right.
think people realize that it's as much for your mental health when you go into the gym as it is um, even physically. It
Yeah.
helps you in your soul. Like
So,
it's
I want you to speak into that a little bit more because I know, my story is when I was been recovering from, the life crush of my life, 7.5, 8 years ago, I was devastated. And it was, I didn't really know what to do, but I started to exercise, and by starting to exercise little by little, I started thinking better. And I know my own body, when I was exercising, all of a sudden my diet changed because I'm looking at
Yeah.
myself going, I don't want to eat that crap. You know, I'm working
Right.
too hard on this to fuel myself. And next thing you know, I didn't have the cravings for the sugars and the things like that. But how have you seen it in these different pillars, like your thought life and your emotional life? How has this affected you there? And then you can go into how has it affected your relationships and even your whole
Yeah.
sense of identity.
Yeah. I mean, right away, when you start working out, like I think the first thing I did is I recognized I was and just doing the research, it's kind of a waste of the hard work that you're doing. It's painful. When you first start working out, no matter what, like I've learned the greatest things that we get in our life usually cost us the most. Like, if you
Yeah.
get married, it's going to cost you. But the reward that comes with it outweighs the cost. If you have children, it's going to cost you. It's going to
Yes, it
cost you your
is.
sleep. It's going to cost you your money, but the reward that you get it will outweigh the cost.
Yeah.
And the same thing for going to the gym. I mean, it's painful, especially if you haven't worked out for a while.
Hmm.
Like you're going to be sore. It's going to cost you time, energy. Like in order to get like real breakthrough and to get bigger and to grow muscle, you got to go beyond the point of failure. Like you got to go to the point of failure where you can't do it anymore. So it's like you have to pass where it's painful to where you literally can't do it. And
Right.
so when you're doing that and you're sacrificing every day, I knew it's pointless for me to do this, go through that pain, and then eat sugar,
Right.
like eat a ton of sugar or drink a bunch of soda or
Hmm.
like eat stuff that I know is counterproductive to the pain I just put myself through in the gym. And
Right.
so that was one of the first things that happened is it shifted my diet a bit. Like so I began to like I didn't drink anything but water and milk for a little while.
Really.
Like that's it. I just drank water and milk, and then I started realizing the more you start doing it, you're for me anyway. My personalities, I just go all in on things. I started realizing if you just drink water but you don't have enough salt, you're going to get dehydrated. You
Right.
think that if you just drink water, people are like, "Well, I drink enough water." No, you can drink all the water you want, but if you don't have enough salt,
Right.
it's not hydrating you. It's actually having the opposite effect on you. It's going to cause you to strip all the minerals in your
That's
body.
right.
So I started eating salt. So then what happens is you start feeling better. Like you don't realize it, but like your body is operating in in fight mode, or flight mode for some people in the sense of
Right.
like they're retreating, isolation, like
Mm.
into their cave because they're trying to survive. And that's the
Yeah.
flight mode. They're playing video games all day or scrolling on their phone all day.
Right.
And it's just reinforcing depression and isolation. Or they're in this fight mode and they're constantly inflamed and, stressed all the time. And they might be, overworking to compensate for what's going on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all sometimes your body's natural like system is telling you to do stuff and you not even be aware of it
That's
until
right.
you make a shift like this, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I don't want to eat that, um and I start feeling better, and then I'm like more present. I'm like, hey babe, you want to go on a date? Like, hey, you want to throw you want to kick the soccer ball in the backyard, son? Like, you
Right.
know you got more energy to be the best version of yourself that you always wanted to be, but you couldn't figure out why you couldn't be what you knew you wanted to be.
Yeah.
you
I
know
know when I was starting to really go after it and work out, and like I said, I'm much older than you, but for me, um, it gave me hope. And I know some people are going to say, what does that mean? But it really did. It gave me hope for my future. It gave me hope for, the next year of my life. It gave me hope that, I wasn't through. You mentioned something about fight and flight. so many of the guys that we work with, Richie, are some of them are like, well, I don't have time to work out because they're driven, right? And they're
Right.
building their businesses and they're busy and they've got their kids and their families. And it's like, I can't fit this in. And they're driving all the time. And then on the flip side's the guy who's saying, well, I don't really have time, but he's escaping and isolating, right? And
Right.
so you've really identified two of the big warning signs. And I think that both of them, you mentioned isolation. Isolation will kill a man. You
Yeah.
know, it'll kill a man. And
Well,
you can be isolated super busy, but you can be isolated scrolling and hiding and medicating too.
right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the time thing is really important. I tell people, you either give your body time now or you give it to later.
Yeah,
Like through, you can do it willingly now or you can do it unwillingly later.
that's
And
so
and
good.
it'll either, you're going to be sick and in the hospital, giving it time that way, or in surgery, because your knees are blown out and your hips
Yeah,
blown out or your back's blown out simply because you're just not in shape. And eventually your compensation gives in.
yeah,
And you'll have to pay money for it, time, energy. And then the quality of the time that you have right now won't be as good because you're in pain.
mm,
And so sometimes people have learned how to cope with the dysfunction in their body, but they don't even realize the quality of their life or the quality of the time that they're spending, you know, doing things they love to do would be better, if they were in shape, or they'll die,
yeah,
earlier. So you're going to
yeah,
give it time. It's just a matter of, are you going to do it willingly and intentionally? And so for me, it's a priority just as
yes.
much as it is, like, it's a priority for me to spend time with the Lord every day,
Hmm.
like,
Right.
and everything is pulling on your time. This thing I got in my hand right now, I'm talking to you through this iPhone, is pulling on my time all the time. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, just practically, I decided, how can I get free of this thing? I'm addicted to this thing. Like, first thing I want to do is get up and grab this cell phone in the morning. And I don't even want to do it, but it's like something's pulling me to grab this cell phone.
Hmm.
And the studies say it's like more addictive than cocaine. It really is.
Yes.
The feelings that we get on the cell phone, but it's robbing my time. So for me, I had to take communion. I had to get communion and replace my phone on the side of my bed. Plug this in the kitchen. Put communion on my bedside table. And the first thing I
Wow.
do in the morning is I take communion. The
That's
last thing I do before I go to bed is I take communion. I don't look at my phone. And if I do that, then it helps me spend time with the Lord first, which is the
hmm
first thing I need to do to have self-control, to do
yeah.
what I need to do for the rest of the day. So I do
Yeah.
that. The other thing is, it's not negotiable, is I have a time. My wife knows this, my family knows this. When I travel, I tell pastors this. Everybody who knows me, I have to teach them. I work out every day and I've got a block of time that works for me. Everybody, that block of time is going to be different, but this is the block of time that works for me, and you communicate it, and then people learn that about you. That's just who that person is.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. We did an episode a couple of weeks ago, and it was on the attention economy. Are you familiar with that term?
uh,
The attention economy. And it basically goes like this is that our attention has value, right? It's like a currency because it's limited. So when there's supply and demand, when something's limited, the value of it goes up. We think information is valuable. Well, information is infinite, right? But
right,
attention is finite. And
right,
this is such a big thing because it's like, there's that scripture says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And I share this with people all the time, but you know, in the world, we think we're going to invest in what we love, but in God's economy, we love what we invest in, you know?
yeah,
And I think what you're doing is you're really living that out, saying, hey, I'm investing in myself, I'm investing in my physical condition, but you're seeing the fruit of it all throughout your whole life, right? And throughout
yeah,
all spheres.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it made me a better dad.
Yeah.
It made me a better husband. It
Wow.
made me a better minister. I mean, I found I got, even more dialed in prophetically with my ability to hear God's voice.
Good.
So it just kind of one thing led to another. You start with working out, the discipline of doing that, it leads to your diet, which then leads to your mental health.
Hmm.
And then it kind of there's a whole domino effect that comes along with it. So it's been a huge blessing. And then one of the other things I wasn't really expecting in this is because I started doing this to kind of pour into myself and so into my body is who you are doesn't cut on and cut off. Well, it shouldn't, like who
Yeah.
you are. And so me going to the gym, I'd go to the sauna. Eventually I started going to the sauna because I've read the benefits of sauna, and
Hmm.
detox and that
Right.
kind of thing. So I started going 4 to 5 days a week for 20 minutes, just 20 minutes in the sauna. And I started meeting these guys in my gym that would come up to me in the sauna and they would find out I was a pastor or minister, and I started praying for people, and I just started leading people to Christ left and right in my gym. Most of them young people, like
Yeah.
young men, and one particular individual I just been discipling him. I baptized him a year ago. When I met him, he was suicidal, like dropped out of college, didn't have any vision for his life. Now he's got a business that he's involved in and invested in, and he just led somebody to the Lord at the gym last week and baptized that guy, and now he's discipling him,
Oh
and
my.
he travels with me on trips now, and he's a beast. He's like built like a Greek god or something, like just a chiseled beast at
Hmm.
22 years old, and he's influential, and so like you got all these people. Just yesterday, I led a guy to the Lord in the gym, you know, and and uh and I led these girls to the Lord and they need discipleship. So I said, hey, it's not appropriate for me to disciple you, so let me connect you with my wife.
Hmm.
And here's my wife. For the last little while, her main role has just been like the mom in the house, the 4 children,
Right.
you know. And it's not that she doesn't like that. That's been her greatest dream since she's been a little girl. But she needs some other outlets to kind of like,
Yeah.
be who she is in other areas.
Hmm.
And through these young girls that I led to the Lord at the gym, she's discipling them. Now they're coming over to my house all the time. Like this one girl was a gymnast, a Division I gymnast that, um, you know, now she's in physical therapy, going to college. And so my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's 8 years old. She was going to like one of those group gymnastic gyms and we're paying all this money every month for her to
Yeah.
be trained with 30 other girls and she's not even hardly learning how to do flips. I'm like, why don't we just give that money to Jenna and let her train her one-on-one at our house? We'll get the equipment and stuff. And we asked Jenna, she's like, yeah, I'd love to because I want to spend
Wow.
time with you guys and I love Annabelle. So now my daughter is like head and shoulders above all the other girls her age because she's being trained one-on-one with this girl that we met at the gym. So we
Yeah.
were just getting ourselves in shape. My wife started going to the gym after that, and Jenna started training my wife. And now my wife is like as much as into the gym as I am, and
Yeah.
in shape and eating healthy. And all of our 4 kids, they're seeing us eat healthy. They're seeing us take care of our bodies.
Hmm.
And now it's the legacy effect. Your whole, it's not just you, it's your family lineage is
That's
beginning to
right.
shift because of some decisions that you made to just start working out in your garage. You
That is,
started, I'm just going to work out with what I have in my garage right now. And
that's
it started with that. And here we are.
that's so great. And what I love is, in my work, I've found that, men are looking, men and women, but mostly I deal with guys. They're looking for men in their life who they can who they admire, who they can aspire to be like, right? We understand that you need guys over your life. We need guys who you're walking with, and you need guys who you're pouring into, and you live that lifestyle. And I try to, but I find when someone comes up to me and they say, "How old are you?" And I tell them, they're like going, "Wow, you're in great. I want to be
Yeah.
like that." And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it opens that door where you can they start to say, "Hey, whatever this guy's doing, I want to know, I
Yeah.
want to know more about who he is. And I'm sure that's what you're experiencing.
Oh yeah. I love the people that come up to me and Dominic, he has curly brown hair, and brown eyes. They say, "Are you guys brothers?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're my best friend, man. I just love you." And then you get the other ones, they come up, "Is this your son?" And I'm like, I don't like you too much.
Yeah.
You, no, I'm just joking. But I mean, it is. It's like, it gives you, especially with this younger generation, I don't think people realize how important physical health is to influencing the next
Right.
generation. Like
Right.
there's a certain aspect of this upcoming, I'm 39 now, of this younger generation that they just have more respect and honor. I think in society in general, but just more. It's easier for them to honor people who are taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And obviously some people have conditions that they can't help that they're trying to overcome, not to bring any shame on anyone. But for me, I realized it's one less barrier that people have to cross in
Right.
order to listen.
Right.
They already want to hear how you got breakthrough in that area.
You brought up legacy, and I think, that is such a powerful thing, right? I'm actually starting to write a book on legacy, but these guys that I meet at all different ages, whether they're 39, 45, and they've got 4 kids, 3 kids, and they're trying to figure that out. How do they juggle everything? But they want their life to be a legacy, right? They want their life to have meaning well beyond just what they're doing today. Guys my age, it's like going, what's the rest of my life going to be like, right? I want the rest of my life to be the most productive, but to do so, you have to take care of yourself physically, and there's
Yeah,
no way around it. See, and
yeah,
that's the thing. Guys are like, it's like, well, they're complacent and they're in compromised position, but they have this want to be influential. But if you don't take care of yourself physically, you don't have the energy. Plus, and I hate to say it, but guys who are attracted to me because I'm in shape for my age, and I'm inspirational, so to speak, in my age, it's because they're like going, well, this guy is serious. I,
yeah.
again, I want to glean off of him, and that's something that I love what you're doing. But what about, so you're working, I would just want to address this real quick before we end, but so you're working out 2 hours a day.
Well, I would say there are days that I might work out 2 hours a day now. I mean, and I have the ability to do that within my
Yeah.
schedule to do that. Not every day will I do that because
Yeah.
of my lifestyle, but I minimally will get 45 minutes to an hour in every
Okay.
single day
So
at minimum.
what would
Um,
you say though is about the guy who's not working out at all, right? Or the guy who he's like going, I don't even know if I have time for this. What advice would you give them? How does he start?
well, first of all, we have time for what we prioritize.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. You definitely have time. We all have time. It's
Yeah.
just what is your priority, you know?
Good.
And so once you figure out what your priorities are, then you put those blocks in first.
Yeah.
Like, so what you got to realize, I was talking to my mom about this. She's in real estate right now, and she's like crushing it again. She was in it when I was a kid, but she's like one of the top agents in her region right now. And
Mm,
the more success you get, the more pressure there is to do more and more and more.
right.
And she's like, "Son, I don't have any time to go to the gym." I said, "Mom, what's the point in making all this money and doing all this stuff if you get so sick that you're not able to enjoy it or
Yeah.
you burn out and then
Yeah.
you burn through it?" There's no point. You actually have to put up a boundary where you let everybody know from this time to this time, even in real estate, I'm not available. And they might make some people mad. That's okay. The trade-off is okay. You might lose some business that way. That's okay.
Hmm.
Eventually, you'll train people. That individual's not available between this time and this time, and they'll respect you more for it
That's right.
because they know, and you'll find that you're probably going to accomplish more having that time to yourself than you would if you didn't. And so the first thing I'd say to that individual is you do have time for it. You just don't prioritize it enough.
Yeah.
Um, because you make time for what you prioritize. The second thing is you don't have to work out like a bodybuilder every day. Like most people don't realize if you eat healthy and you're consistent, you can get a lot done in 35 minutes. You know,
Absolutely.
you can get a lot done physically in 35 minutes. You just have to have a plan, a progressive overload plan. I would encourage everyone not just to do cardio, but to do weights, build lean muscle. Lean muscle is going to help you stay healthier longer. It's going to help,
Right.
for a lack of a better term, reverse aging.
Yeah.
The lean muscle, especially in your legs. Don't neglect your legs.
Right.
It'll boost your testosterone, and boost your human growth hormone. Push your legs to the limit, and then make sure you're working out through a range of motion in your legs, not just through certain
Yeah.
planes, but like challenging range of motion so that you can stay mobile longer
Yeah.
and you're strong longer that way. And
That's funny.
create a plan, have a plan. And if you can't, develop one, invest in one, you know, uh, get a really good trainer. I suggest to people the Ladder app, Ladder. My friend Corey Perkins is on there, but they create plans for people that are literally 45 minutes. You don't even have to think about it. They even have like food stuff in there,
That's great.
and it's cheap, and all you have to do is jump in there, throw it in your ears. They walk you through all the workouts because some people don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
They get frustrated because they try to go to the gym and they're like, I worked really hard and I didn't get any breakthrough because
Yeah.
they didn't know how to eat. They didn't know how to drink the water or sleep. And it just felt over too much for them to
Right.
add, you know. But nowadays you have those apps like the Ladder app or, other things I'm sure that you're aware of and that I'm developing. I'm developing things where you don't have to do it alone.
That's
There's
right.
people that are out there right now that have already done this and they can help you create a plan and then commit to it for
That's right.
36 months. And once you get it, it'll be part of your life. And then
Yeah.
it won't be
So
too
good.
hard. It's just your lifestyle.
That's so good. That's so good. I know that there's so many resources out there. And, one of the things I want to touch on real quick was I mentioned to you earlier, Dr. Peter Attia, and he wrote a book called Outlive. But his research, his team has done research on Alzheimer's and cognitive loss, right? And that whole thing of dementia. And as they were doing research, they wanted to find out. I mean, he's a Johns Hopkins researcher. I mean, he's qualified to do this. His team found out that the number one thing that fights against Alzheimer's and dementia is your VO2 max. It's your
Yeah.
volume of oxygen. So it's intentional cardiovascular work, right? And
Yeah.
maintaining a high VO2 max. And he said simple as this: if you can get your like a 45-minute cardio at a point where you're going hard enough that you can talk, but it's difficult to hold a
Right.
conversation, right? And then he says that's number one by so far. He said, but number two on that list to fight it, dementia and Alzheimer's, is lifting heavy weights.
Yeah.
And so it's exactly what you're talking about. And so,
Yeah.
we look at how can I have a quality of life longer, and how can I keep my brain sharp and everything? Because I thought the way to fight dementia and Alzheimer's was like doing puzzles and
Right.
reading a lot and things like, and that's all good. But you can do more with intentional exercise for your
Yeah.
for your mental cognitive health.
Yeah. What you're talking about, like the VO2 max, um, zone two cardio, like if you have a lot of body fat right now, like visceral body fat or even belly fat or
Yeah.
whatever, um, it's been proven that if you work out and do heavy weights for like 35 minutes, 40 minutes, progressive overload, by the end of that session, you've burned through all your glycogen stores.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll do zone two cardio, the top of your zone two, and this is how you measure it. If you can like if you have like an Apple Watch or something that gets your heart, measures your heart rate, it's 180 minus your age. Whatever 180 minus your age is, that's the top of your zone two.
Okay.
And if you do that for 30 minutes after you work out like that, it'll melt body fat off of you.
That's incredible.
But the reason for that is it's like you say, you can, at that level, it's hard to talk. It's the conversation. It's like it's hard to talk. You can talk, but you can still talk. See, if you get the zone three, you're not going to be able to talk at all.
Right.
That's cardio. Like you're out of breath. That's zone three. And the thing about that zone is it'll spike your cortisol. And for some people, that'll have an opposite effect on their body fat. So they'll get frustrated because they're running so hard doing, I want to get this weight off. And they don't understand why they're not losing the weight
Yeah.
that much because their cortisol is spiking. But that zone two zone, like what you're talking about after working out, that'll help people lose body fat. And if you keep it consistent, keep building lean muscle and you won't burn through your muscle,
Yeah.
which is, in my opinion, I think it's one of the most important things, especially as we age, is to keep a good amount of lean muscle.
That's right. Because you lose it. You lose it so fast as you age, So,
Yeah.
well, this has been so great. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey. And you talked to me a little bit earlier about thinking about creating a platform, maybe doing some coaching and things like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean,
as you,
I want to create this genius group, I
yeah,
think, just with individuals that have disposable income that they can spend, but they just don't know how. They don't know where to start. I want to
right.
help people both spiritually and physically. So we'll
I
see.
love that.
We're going to try to develop it.
Well, you keep in touch, and we'll get it broadcast here on Next Third Best Third for you. We'll help
Come
you get
on.
it going. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
So
Appreciate that.
so thanks so much, and y'all, thanks for joining us. If you'll do me a favor, if you'd comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. We're growing at a rapid rate, and we really are committed to invest in you so that you can invest in yourself to make your next third your best third. We'll see you next time. Thanks.